And welcome back. We are going today to continue to work with our selection tools to help us enhance our ability to make images. So to get started today, let's just go ahead and start with our nice 64 by 64 and make ourselves kind of more of an ellipse shape here. So I'm going to use our shift key here to kind of help keep a nice circle shape. There we go. And let's go ahead and inverse that selection. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to go ahead and use the paint bucket tool to go ahead and paint the outside of this, because I'm going to go ahead and make a moon here, but I want to have a nice night sky. Now, in order to, of course, fill this in, I could, of course, use my paint bucket tool and fill this in. But what I'm going to do here is actually I'm going to use some layers here to kind of help us make this a little nicer. So I'm going to go ahead and add a layer. And on the second layer, let's go ahead and fill this in with, let's do a yellow. And I'm just going to go ahead and paint bucket fill that. So let's just do Control A so we can select the whole thing, click fill. And we'll go to our layers panel and we're going to just rearrange those layers so the yellow for the moon is on the bottom, and then the, you could call this a mask, is on the top. Alright, now let's go ahead and go back to use our quick selection tool, and we're going to go ahead and go back to our mask layer here. Go ahead and click on that. And of course we don't have the moon area selected right now, which is fine because we can just go ahead and switch that with our inverse tool. Alright, so now we have that same region that what the moon is currently on selected. And I'm going to go back to my elliptical tool here for a second and want to show you that I can move this selection around now very easily. And so I can move that around, and I can even just click to which layer I want to work on. But now I have this area. So if I want to make, for example, a crescent moon, I can just move this selection to where I wanted to go. And now the selection will act wherever I go to fill it in. So for example, if I'm on the moon layer here, and I say, I want to make that, let's say, a darker yellow here, or maybe I just want to go full on to like a gray. And let's go ahead and grab our brush tool, and we can go ahead and paint that in. And what you will see is that it will paint in that selection here for us. So now we have this kind of dark area here that we filled in. So there's our crescent moon right there. And we, of course, can even go through and do things like readjust this selection after we move it, just like we have done before. So I can go ahead and use modify. I can contract this. So let's go ahead and say by 5 pixels. And now we have even smaller region here that we could work with. And if I grab my marquee tool, for example, again, I'm using the elliptical, I can move that around as well to go ahead and create different regions. So if I wanted to make even a darker sub-region here that's even darker, so let's go ahead and make that black and use our brush tool now, we can, of course, go ahead and paint that darker region in as well. So it's something that really help us add some dynamics to this, to kind of help us use the selection tools to really add a richer